Solid waste management, need of the hour. It is said that climatic changes and pollution are closely related to each other. Pollution is the phenomena that arises due to the contamination of the environment, either due to human activities or due to natural causes. In our everyday lives, many activities like throwing of garbage carelessly on roads while walking, littering of surroundings, combustion of fossil fuels, burning of garbage, washing of clothes, utensils and animals in water bodies, etc. pollute our surroundings. Lots of garbage is also collected from our homes every day. Do you know how this garbage is disposed of? Come, let us find the answer to this question by performing a simple activity. Activity: observe the garbage collected in the dustbin of your classroom. Which waste materials are found in the dustbin? There are used papers, pieces of papers, used pens, empty plastic bottle, pencil scrap, chocolate wrappers, and other food wrappers. How these materials can be disposed of? As the quantity of garbage in the dustbin is less, the best way to dispose this garbage is to dump waste materials like used papers, pieces of papers, and pencil scrap in the green-colored trash bin, and waste materials like empty plastic bottle, used pens, chocolate wrappers, and other food wrappers can be dumped in the blue-colored trash bin. In the similar way, the garbage generated in our houses every day can also be disposed of properly. The heaps of paper collected can be sold to the old paper mart. Metal and plastic waste materials can be sold to the scrap dealer. Waste materials like vegetable peels, fruit peels, other kitchen wastes, and bits of papers can be dumped in the green-colored dustbin. Waste items like pieces of glass, plastic bags, plastic wrappers, etc. can be thrown in the blue-colored dustbin. Waste materials which are generated through the various daily human activities are called solid wastes. Observe these two scenes carefully. What is the major difference between these scenes? Yes, in the first scene, the entire street is littered with solid wastes, and in the second scene, the street is neat and tidy. The condition of the street shown in the second scene is the ideal view that we wish to see on every street of India. This is possible if the solid wastes generated are disposed by each person vigilantly. Proper disposal of garbage should be the prime duty of every citizen. If the solid wastes are properly disposed of, they can be a valuable source of energy. But if the solid waste is not disposed properly, heaps of garbage will be accumulated. Currently, solid waste is a serious worldwide problem as it causes both water and soil pollution. Solid waste is also a serious problem from the point of view of economic growth, environmental degradation, and health. It has posed a serious threat to nature and human habitat because of the air, water, and soil pollution it causes. Do you know? Garbage production per day. Solid waste generated in the main metro cities of the state is approximately 5,000 tons in Mumbai, 1,700 tons in Pune, and 900 tons in Nagpur. On 26 July 2005, a serious flood calamity had arisen in Mumbai. Improper solid waste management was one of the main reasons behind that calamity. Thus, we see that accumulation of solid waste can lead to various calamities. Don't you wonder how this much amount of solid waste is generated? Come, let us find out some of the factors responsible for accumulation of large amount of solid waste in our surroundings with the help of an interesting activity. Let us visit one of the residential buildings. We will make note of the amount of garbage collected from each house for a week. After 1 week, based on the recorded observations, we can conclude that large amount of solid waste is produced every day from our houses. Some of this garbage is biodegradable and some of it is non-biodegradable. Our daily activities and habits lead to this accumulation of garbage. Therefore, it is our duty to dispose this garbage properly so that we don't contribute in harming our environment. Come, after studying about how solid waste is generated, accumulated, and can be disposed of in general, let us now study about solid wastes in detail. Solid waste. We make use of many materials and articles in our daily lives. The unwanted solid materials that are generated through various daily human activities, which we do not need any longer, are called the solid wastes. Solid wastes are of different types. Waste dumped out of the factories and industries. Biomedical wastes created in the hospitals and dispensaries. Electronic waste. Waste collected from farms and gardens are all included in solid wastes. Come, let us now quickly learn about different types of solid waste generated in our surroundings. Old newspapers, used papers, plastic bags, waste food, vegetable waste, fruit skins, broken pieces of glass, old metal articles, etc. are the waste generated in our homes. All these wastes are categorized as domestic waste. Various chemicals, pigments, sludge, ash, metals, etc. that are discharged from the industries are classified as industrial waste. Some chemicals that are generated in various industries, radioactive materials, explosives, infectious materials, etc., have adverse effects on the health. These wastes are included under hazardous waste. Waste materials like leaves, flowers, branches of trees, crop residues like straw, animal urine and dung, pesticides, remains of various chemicals and fertilizers, etc., are included under farm and garden waste. Non-functional electronic devices like TV sets, cell phones, music systems, computers and their parts, etc. are electronic wastes. Large amount of waste materials like bandages, dressings, gloves, needles, saline bottles, medicines, medicine bottles, test tubes, body parts, blood, etc. are generated from clinics, hospitals, blood banks and laboratories. These wastes are called biomedical waste. Waste generated through household industries and large commercial and industrial establishments. Carry bags, glass, metal pieces and rods, threads, rubber, paper, cans from shops, vegetable and meat markets, construction waste, etc. are categorized as urban waste. Radioactive materials like strontium-10, cerium-141, barium-140, and heavy water, etc., generated from atomic energy plants, uranium mines, atomic research centers, nuclear weapons testing sites, etc., are all included under radioactive wastes. Remains of heavy metals like lead, arsenic, cadmium, etc. from mines are categorized under mining wastes. Do you know how all these waste materials are broadly classified? These waste materials are broadly classified into biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste materials. Biodegradable waste. This type of waste is easily degraded by microbes. It mainly includes kitchen waste like spoiled food, fruits and vegetables, ash, soil, dung, parts of the plants, etc. This waste is mainly of organic type and is also called the wet solid waste or wet garbage. If it is carefully decomposed, we can get compost and fuel of good quality from it. Such biofuel projects have been started in many cities. Non-biodegradable waste. This type of waste is called dry solid waste or dry garbage. It is not easily degraded because it requires a very long period of time and the use of various techniques. Waste materials like metal, glass, plastic wastes, biomedical waste like bandages, gloves, needles, test tubes, radioactive waste, some industrial waste, etc. are all included under solid dry waste. As this type of waste remains unchanged for over a longer period of time, they accumulate in our surroundings rapidly and pollute our environment. Hence, it is necessary to reduce, reuse, and recycle non-biodegradable wastes. Some of the non-biodegradable waste cannot be reused or recycled. Therefore, they have to be discarded properly. However, if they are not disposed of properly, they will affect the environment adversely. Come, after studying about the different types of solid waste generated, let us list some of the waste materials found in your area and note whether these waste materials are degradable, non-degradable, can be recycled, reused, and whether they are toxic or not in a table. Spoiled food coming from homes and restaurants is degradable waste. It cannot be recycled or reused. It is toxic in nature. Waste material like plastic bottle is non-biodegradable waste. This waste can be recycled and reused, and it is toxic by nature. See these piles of newspapers collected. This waste is degradable waste. It can be recycled, reused, and is non-toxic. All these solid waste can be harmful to us and our environment if they remain accumulated in the environment. Accumulation of solid wastes generates bad odor, leads to production of toxic gases, degradation of natural beauty, spread of various diseases, etc. It also affects our biodiversity adversely. It is also responsible for soil, water, and air pollution in our environment. Hence, solid waste management has become the necessity of today's world. Come, let us study about it in detail. Necessity of solid waste management. It is the need of the hour to implement solid waste management practices to avoid the possible problems due to solid waste generated from urban and industrial areas and to maintain a clean environment. Solid waste management is must in order to prevent environmental pollution and to reduce strain on our natural resources. It is also required to improve the health and quality of life and to maintain the balance of the environment. Thus, for this purpose, we should implement measures like increasing the efficiency of production processes so that minimum waste will be generated, reducing garbage production by recycling and reuse of waste materials, scientific and eco-friendly waste management practices like proper separation and categorization of waste, composting, vermicomposting, construction of safe landfill sites, management of biomedical waste by incineration, management of industrial waste by landfill method, pyrolysis, that is, energy production by burning of waste materials at high temperature, should also be implemented on a large scale. There are 7 basic principles of solid waste management. Reuse. After use, the materials should be reused for some other purposes. Refuse. Refusal to use articles made from non-biodegradable articles like plastic and thermocol. Recycle. Production of useful articles by recycling solid wastes. For example, paper and glass can be recycled. Rethink. Rethinking our habits, activities, and their consequences in connection with the use of various articles of daily use. Reduce. Restrict the use of resources to avoid their wastages. Old materials should be reused. One thing should be shared by many. Use and throw type of objects should be avoided. Research. Constructing research related to reuse of materials that are temporarily out of use. Regulation and public awareness. Following the laws and rules related to waste management and motivating others to do the same. As individuals also, there are many things that we can do to make a difference and save the environment. We should follow the 3R mantra. Reduce, that is reducing the waste. Reuse, that is reuse of waste. And recycle, that is recycle of waste. We should always throw plastic wrappers of chocolates, ice creams, biscuits, etc. into the dustbins and avoid littering. In order to reduce the amount of waste generated, we can also avoid the use of plastic bags and instead use cloth bags or bags prepared from old saris, bed sheets, curtains, etc. We should always use both the sides of paper for writing. Old greeting cards and gift papers can also be reused. Use of tissue papers can be avoided. Instead, use of handkerchief should be preferred. Rechargeable batteries should be used instead of lead batteries. Use and throw type of articles like pens, canned cold drinks, Tetra Paks should be strictly avoided. On more broader terms, we can also implement various programs of solid waste management and educate and encourage our family and society in this regard. All these small habits can help to reduce the amount of solid waste generated and accumulated in our environment, and in turn will help to save the human world from all the harmful effects of solid waste generation. Do you know? America is the largest producer of electricity from solid waste. Japan has developed the projects of production of threads, paper, and other useful materials from banana peelings. A peep in the past. Ever since ancient times, special attention has been given to garbage disposal. In the Greek city of Athens, in 320 BCE, a law had been enacted regarding garbage disposal. It made throwing garbage in the open an offense. Come, after studying about solid waste management, let us now move on to study disaster management in detail.